out of my house. You think say I don't know what you they do? You think say I blind? Mother, never do anything to hurt you. I dey protect you. Protect me? You dey sleep with my husband for my house. You call am protection? Get out.
But let me tell you how it all began. The name on Blessing's identity card read Blessing Okeke, 22 years old. But nobody in the Adeyemi household called her Blessing at first. They called her the girl. As in, has the girl cleaned the kitchen? Or, tell the girl to bring my food. It was Mama Tayo, Mrs. Folake Adeyemi, who had found her through a domestic agency in Lagos. The agency said Blessing was hardworking, honest, had completed secondary school and came from a good family that had fallen on hard times. Mama Tayo, whose real name was Folake, had given up her career as a fashion designer to manage the home when Tayo was born. She told herself it was a temporary sacrifice. That was 17 years ago. Blessing arrived on a Monday morning with one small bag and immediately began working without being told twice. Blessing learned everything quietly. She did her work and stayed in her lane. Mama Tayo had had housemaids before, 3 of them in 10 years. The first stole her jewelry, the second was caught kissing the gateman behind the generator house, the third got pregnant. Mama Tayo never found out by whom and had to be sent home. So when Blessing completed her first month without any drama, Mama Tayo called her to the kitchen and said, "You are doing well. I will increase your salary." Blessing thanked her, returned to washing dishes and said nothing more. What Mama Tayo did not know, what she would not know for a long time, was that Blessing Okeke was the quietest, most observant person who had ever entered that house. And in a house full of secrets, a quiet observer was the most dangerous thing of all. The first thing Blessing noticed, Blessing heard them fight for the first time. She was in the kitchen. The children were asleep. It was after midnight and she had gotten up to get water. The voices came from the master bedroom, Mr. Adeyemi's, low and controlled, the madams trying to stay low but breaking at the edges. "You came home at 1 in the morning, Segun. 1 in the morning. I told you I had site inspection." "At midnight? Which site is inspecting at midnight?" "Folake, I'm tired. I don't have time for this tonight." "You never have time. You never have time for anything in this house anymore." There was a long silence, then the sound of a door closing. Not slamming, that was what was frightening about it. It closed quietly, like a full stop. Blessing went back to her room and lay on her mat in the dark. She thought about her own mother back in Nuewi, who raised 5 children after their father left. She did not snoop. That is important to understand about Blessing. She was not a gossip. She was not looking for drama. She had not come to Lagos to involve herself in other people's marriages. She had come to make money. She had a plan for her own life, and that plan did not include the Adeyemi family's problems. But when a house is small enough and a person is present enough, you do not need to look for things. Things find you. The madam's cousin came to visit in the 4th month. Her name was Shade. She stayed for a weekend, and she and Mama Tayo stayed up late talking on the veranda while Blessing pretended to sweep the corridor. "Folake, I'm telling you, that man has a woman somewhere." "Shade, please." "I'm not playing with you. A man who comes home smelling of different perfume every week." Shade's voice dropped lower. "Has he been... Are you two still..." A pause. "Shade, I'm your cousin, tell me." Another pause, longer. "It has been almost a year," Mama Tayo said. "A year? Please keep your voice down." Blessing swept more slowly. "Folake, that man is tired from somewhere else, not from work." The conversation moved on. Shade left on Sunday. The house returned to its quiet, careful rhythm. It was the Tuesday in the 5th month when Blessing first saw the woman. She had gone to the market in the estate, Mama Tayo had sent her for tomatoes and pepper. And on her way back, she saw Mr. Adeyemi's Prado parked outside the estate's small cafe. She would not have looked twice except that he was supposed to be in Abuja. He had told Mama Tayo that morning at breakfast, "I have a meeting in Abuja. I won't be back until Thursday." The madam had nodded and said okay in that careful way she had, and the children had not looked up from their phones. Yet, here was the Prado in the estate. She shifted the market bag to her other hand and turned to go, and then the door of the cafe opened and Mr. Adeyemi walked out. He was not alone. The woman with him was young. She was laughing at something he had said. He had his hand on the small of her back. Blessing turned away immediately and walked fast in the other direction. She went home. She told herself, "This is not your business. You did not see anything. You are a housemaid. You have a plan. Stay in your lane." She almost managed it. What broke her was not what she saw. It was what she heard. 6 weeks after the cafe incident, on a Saturday night when Mr. Adeyemi thought everyone was asleep, Blessing woke up to use the bathroom and heard him on his phone in the corridor outside the kitchen. His voice was low, but the house was quiet. "I know, baby, I know. Just give me a little more time. I'm handling it." Yes, I said I'm handling it. The transfer will go through next week. How much? No, that's too much. Okay, fine. Baby, calm down. I said I'll handle it. You are the only one I want. You know that. These things take time. Filing for divorce takes time. I can't just... Blessing pressed herself against the wall of her room and did not breathe. Divorce. The word sat in her chest like a stone. Happy family. She lay back on her mat. She stared at the ceiling. She told herself, it is still not your business. But she did not sleep. The months that followed were the hardest of Blessing's time in that house. She watched Mama Tayo spend money on new dresses trying to get her husband's attention. She watched Mr. Adeyemi come home late and give excuses that had started to sound recycled. Blessing cooked, she cleaned, she swept the corridor and washed the plate and made the tea and kept her face empty. But she had started doing something she had not intended. Quietly, carefully, she started keeping records. Not because she planned to use them. She would tell herself that later, and she believed it was true. She started keeping records because she was the kind of person who needed to make sense of things, and the only way she could make sense of what was happening in this house was to write it down. The dates he came home late, the conversations she overheard, the times the madam cried in her room thinking nobody could hear, the afternoon she passed the master bedroom and heard him on the phone saying, "The lawyer said we need to move the property first before the filing." Move the property. Blessing did not fully understand what that meant, but she understood enough. She wrote it down. The accusation came on a Friday evening. After dinner, Blessing was washing up when she heard Mama Tayo's voice from the sitting room, different from usual. "Segun, who is she?" "What are you talking about?" "The woman, the one you've been seeing. Don't insult my intelligence. Just tell me who she is." "Folake, you're tired. You're imagining." "I am not imagining anything." The voice cracked. "I found the messages, Segun. I found them on the old tablet you forgot to clear. I read everything." How long? Mama Tayo's voice had dropped to something raw. How long has this been happening? Blessing dried her hands slowly on the kitchen cloth. "We will talk about this calmly, not like this." "How long, Segun?" "Lower your voice. The children." "Don't talk to me about the children. How long?" Tiwa appeared at the kitchen doorway, her eyes wide, her book clutched against her chest. She looked at Blessing. Blessing looked back at her. She kept her face steady. "Come," Blessing said quietly. "Come and help me wash these plates." Tiwa came. Blessing turned on the tap so the sound of water covered some of the voices from the sitting room. She put a plate in Tiwa's hands and guided her through the motion of washing. 3 days after their argument, Blessing came back from the market and found her room had been searched. Whoever had done it had tried to put things back, but Blessing's bag had been moved. Her notebook was not quite where she had left it. She picked it up and opened it. Nothing was missing, but someone had read it. She sat on her mat for a long time. Then she went to the small phone shop 2 streets from the estate and bought a cheap phone. She sent the photos to her own email address. Then she deleted them from the cheap phone. She was not sure why she did it. She told herself it was just to be safe. The thing that broke everything open happened on a Wednesday. Mr. Adeyemi came home early, unusual for a Wednesday. Blessing was in the kitchen. He walked straight to the kitchen, and when he saw Blessing, he closed the door behind him. Blessing turned to face him. "Whatever you think you know," he said, "it's not your business. You are a housemaid. You are here to cook and clean. That's all." His voice was still controlled, but there was something underneath it that was not controlled. "I want that notebook, and I want you out of this house by the end of the week." Blessing looked at him steadily. "You should tell Madame that, sir. She's the one who hired me." His jaw tightened. He stepped closer. "You are making a mistake," he said quietly. Then he turned and walked out of the kitchen. That same evening, Mama Tayo called Blessing to the sitting room. Mr. Adeyemi was sitting in the armchair. Mama Tayo stood near the window. "Blessing, my husband has told me that you have been writing about our family in a notebook. Is that true?" Blessing looked at her. "Madam, is it true?" "Yes, ma." "What kind of person does that? You are in my house, eating my food, and you are writing down my family's business like a spy?" "Madam, The voice cracked at the edges. "Pack your things and get out of my house, tonight." "Before you throw me out, madam," she said, "please open that envelope." She picked up her bag and left. Mama Tayo stared at the envelope for a long time after the door closed. Mr. Adeyemi stood up. "Leave it. Whatever is in there is the imagination of a housemaid with nothing better to do." She picked up the envelope. She opened it slowly. She looked up at her husband. "You were going to leave me with nothing, after 20 years, after everything." She folded the papers carefully and put them back in the envelope. In the months that followed, the Adeyemi marriage did not survive, but Folake Adeyemi survived it, and that was the thing that mattered. She called Blessing 3 days after that evening. She had tracked her down through the agency. "Where are you now?" she asked. "I found another position, ma, in Surulere. I want to send you something, your full salary for the months you worked, and something extra. Madam, you don't have to. Take the money, Blessing, and that school you told the agency you wanted to attend, the design school in Surulere. I know people there. Let me make a call." 2 years later, Blessing Okeke opened a small fashion studio. Folake Adeyemi, for her part, took a business partner, her cousin, Shade of all people, and reopened the fashion design business she had closed 17 years ago. She was not bitter. She had been too close to losing everything to waste time on bitterness. As for Mr. Segun Adeyemi, he married the young woman within 6 months of the divorce. They were photographed at a party in Victoria Island, looking happy in the way people look happy when they are performing it for others. Shade Martins was, in fact, already seeing another man on the side. But that is a different story. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends and family. Comment down below and tell us what you think. Where are you watching from? We really would love to know. Also, if you were in Blessing's position, would you have spoken up sooner, or would you have stayed out of it? Tell us in the comments. Until next time, keep watching, keep sharing, and remember, not every silent person is blind. Goodbye.